sakes, you hesitated.
Well, sometimes you have to take some time to consider. I don't know. They're all good.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Trying to teach Johnny how to read, and
how's he doing?
It's, slow and fast at the same time,
Yeah. Well, that's okay. He's only what? 4?
He's
3?
4. He's 4.
4? Yeah.
He just doesn't want to do it longer than like 15 minutes at a time.
Well, that's about all their attention span can handle at that age.
So, given the short amount of time he spends on it, he's picking it up pretty quickly, but
that's good.
Not as fast as he could if he did more time.
I had a college professor that told us, a psych teacher told us that a college football player only had a 20-minute attention span.
We believe that.
You believe that?
Yeah.
Yep, we do.
Yeah. No, that's pretty good. If he's got that much, utilize it, give his brain a rest, and try some more.
Yeah, he sounds things out pretty well, but he gets stressed if the word is more than like 4 letters. And then he doesn't want to.
He's only 4.
And he knows some sight words. So that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
And in elementary, we always had recess.
True. That's true. My kids get plenty of recess.
Do they?
At my house, yeah, they do.
Oh, that's okay.
More than sometimes I want them to.
Yeah. That's all right. They're just kids. So. Anyway, so what? Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Did you have a question?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, well, last time we talked about baptism and baby blessings and your endowments and your sealings. So I was kind of hoping to stay on that track a little bit, if it's okay. I was hoping we could talk about your experiences getting patriarchal blessings. How old were you, and when you got them, and what you thought about it, and how you prepared, and how it's influenced your life since then.
Go ahead, dear.
Well, I think I was 18 when I got mine. Can't remember. Was I 18?
I don't know. I wasn't around.
I think I might have been 18 when I got mine. And the patriarch was a blind man. And I think he was a second or third cousin to my mother. And for preparation to go, I don't think I knew anything about it. So I just put on my church clothes and went.
And I was 16, and my grandpa Kelly was the patriarch, so I got it from him. And I don't think I did any preparation. When we were 16, we just went and got them.
Yeah.
Back then, they didn't put a lot of pre-thought into it. So,
But mine was 3 legal pages long, front and back.
And mine is 1 8x10. Front.
But lots of stuff in my patriarchal blessing was repeated several times.
What did you think about that?
Fine with me. I didn't know anything about it.
I think it meant do it.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. So.
Were things in yours repeated too, Grandma?
What?
Were things in yours repeated too? Or is
no?
Like every sentence is different?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What did you think when you first got them?
Kind of like Grandpa, I just, okay, you know.
Did you feel like it was, like, did you have like an aha moment and feel like it was like definitely revelation? Did it take more time to feel that way? Or do you not feel that way, or what?
No, I think maybe more time. The one thing in it that I think helped me in my teenage years was it just says in there that I would have the strength to withstand temptations. But we just kind of took it in stride, didn't we, honey? Not like they were
Well, I was a little impressed that the guy that didn't know me at all knew some of the things he did.
So maybe it was by the Lord. Right?
Maybe not, maybe.
Well, yeah, definitely yes. So
were they things like about your personality or about like challenges you've been having, or like your like desires? Like what sort of things did he know about you? You don't have to tell me specifics. I'm just wondering, like, categorically.
Well, I think in mine it says that I would go on a mission, and I was a little impressed that he knew I wanted to.
Yeah. Especially back then when so many people weren't going, right?
Right.
So did that make you happy that it said you would go on a mission? Like,
yep.
Like, yay, I actually will get my dreams to come true.
Yeah.
That's cool. Grandma, I know that you were told by a doctor that you were never going to have any kids. Did your patriarchal blessing say anything about having kids?
no,
Was that no, they never mentioned anything, huh?
It didn't say
the doctor
one way or other. The doctor said we probably would never be able to, is what he said.
No, he didn't.
What did he say?
The doctor said there was a likely chance we wouldn't have any. He didn't say we'd never have any. He just said there's a chance you won't have any.
That was 50 years ago memory, Liz.
And you have so many. Look at your beautiful posterity now.
Yeah. We've often thought we ought to go up there and demand our money back from him. Because surprise. We did.
Tell him we want a couple of them repossessed.
Yeah. Not really.
And we don't necessarily care which ones. We just want the money back.
Well, one of them has a dog in your house that you want to get rid of, so.
Well, I want to get rid of the dog. Anyway, that's what he said, but I had several blessings, and voila, got pregnant with Annika, then Rebecca. Anyway, the doctors didn't always. Anyway, we got our kids. So we were glad.
Yeah, I'm glad too. Jeez, we wouldn't be able to have this conversation if you hadn't had those kids.
That's true.
At least the first two.
We weren't sure we wanted that many, but how do you know?
Yeah, true.
We thought when we finally got our boy, we were done, but Lord had other ideas. And we wouldn't trade Mandy and Kirsten. We wouldn't send them back.
I'm not trading for two boys.
Don't tell them that.
Yeah. No. We're glad we got them. So.
Me too. So, Grandma, you said when you first got your blessing, you liked the part that said you would have the strength to withstand temptation. And
Yep.
Grandpa said he liked the part that said he'd go on a mission.
Uh-huh.
What was the next significant time in your life where you felt like guided by your patriarchal blessing? Was it when you were deciding to marry each other? Was it when you got drafted, Grandpa?
I don't know if my patriarchal blessing had anything to do with the military or not. I don't remember that it has anything about it.
Mine just told me specifically to work on family history and specifically to work with the elderly. But I don't know that we just go along with life, don't we?
Well, mine repeated a couple of times that I'd be a savior on Mount Zion because of missionary work. And I really take that to mean that is missionary work.
Oh, I do too.
To be a savior on Mount Zion.
And I think temple work too.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've fulfilled that?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, besides the mission, Sheryl and I were instrumental in bringing a couple of friends we had in college into the gospel. So yeah, it was probably done. It might not be over yet.
No, probably not. I don't think it ever is totally over.
Not until you're gone.
Until we're dead and gone.
Yeah.
So
You could probably include your work as the bishop in that list too, Grandpa.
Yeah, right.
So, Grandma, did you consult your blessing at all when you were trying to decide if you wanted to marry Grandpa? Or did you not have to try very hard to decide?
no, I think it told me to just find someone that could take me to the temple. So that's what I did. It didn't really say anything to say. So I did, and there we went and got married. Yeah.
All right. Are there any things in there that are blessings you haven't received yet that you still hope to, or that you have received yet? And looking back, is surprising or inspiring or anything like that?
Yeah, I can't think of any.
A lot of them are just ongoing. You get a blessing when you're 20 and it's just forever.
Yeah, I don't.
That's like your patriarchal blessing. It doesn't end when you get married. It doesn't end when your first child's born. It goes on and on.
And I think the older you get, you read it back and maybe one sentence has a little different meaning than you thought before. So, then we probably should read ours again. So,
How long has it been since you guys have read them?
don't ask.
Years.
A while ago. So, Probably would be a good idea. We were told in conference to reread them, so guess we better obey them and do it. So, bless you.
I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm just asking questions.
Well, sure, you're putting the guilt trip on here.
I'm not trying
I
to.
No, good reminder that we should.
I'm just wondering about it because, yeah, I don't know.
When did you read yours last?
Oh, it's been a long time too, Grandpa. Don't worry.
I guess we all need to repent and listen to conference, talk about it again, and
Yeah, so true.
see what it says.
You do
Have
feel
you had any? What?
any what?
From yours? You had any that you feel like has been?
You're right.
fulfilled?
It's kind of hard to say if you haven't read it recently, isn't it?
All right, you better get yours read. Okay, what was your question?
Well, I was going to tell you. I want to answer your question.
Oh, okay, answer mine.
There are a couple lines in mine that talk about like being able to teach people.
Yeah,
I feel like those are being fulfilled.
good.
When I first got my blessing, I thought it was kind of weird. It said like I bless you with the gift of teaching, and I was like, that's weird. But I actually do spend a lot of time teaching people things. So I do
That's
feel
good.
like that's one of my strengths. So.
And you're teaching the most important people.
Are you talking about my children?
I am.
I'm trying to teach them, but
Slowly and surely. They're just little.
yeah.
So
Yeah, well. So overall, though, about your patriarchal blessings, do you feel like they are revelatory and useful? Do you have any advice you would give people regarding them?
Well, I think I've always told kids when I worked in the scouts or anywhere that they ought to go get them and find out what they're supposed to do. All the time I was bishop, I told them that. Go get their patriarchal blessing.
and I haven't really, thought about that. So, I mean,
I think we made sure all our own children got their blessings.
yeah, that was the most important to me, was my kids. So, and they did. So
Was that a positive experience for them too?
Yes, it was.
Were you there for all of their blessings when they received them?
Yeah, they were. Can't remember anything about them, but I know at the time it was really special. So.
Did they all go just when they turned 16 too?
Oh, I think that was the general age. I don't remember. Do you remember the ages?
No.
I don't remember. It was around, I think, around 16. Because that's when they started kind of stressing it in young women's and stuff. So.
All right. So talking about this made me think about how our spirituality changes over time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering if you could tell us about what times in your life you felt like your spirituality was the strongest and what you attribute that to, or what it felt like and everything.
Yeah, I think probably, one of the times, was when we were on our mission. And missions. And I think that was a strong time. And I think, well, yeah, raising the kids has got to be, because you ask for help every single day. And if you're listening, that helps build your spirituality. What do you think?
What I said.
Yeah. And I think when you go through trials, it doesn't matter what trials they are. We're told that's when it, can help. So,
So the whole time you were raising your kids, like all 20. How long did you have kids at home? Like 30 years?
No.
25?
How long did we have kids home? Mandy, let me see, Annika was born in 73, and Mandy graduated in 80. No, 2000.
We've still got kids home.
Yeah, what are you thinking here, girl?
That's true.
We-
So you've just
we-
been at your spiritual peak this whole time.
We're still raising them.
It's been close to 100 years.
Yeah. Okay, like I said, Mandy graduated in 2000, and Annika was born in 73. So how long's that?
It's 27 years.
27 years. Gee, you put it like that, and that seems like forever. But it wasn't. It went fast. It really did go fast.
But you can't have a box that you check off.
Mm-mm.
Tell me more, Grandpa.
Huh?
What do you mean?
She said,
Well, some things like in the spring, you can have on your list of things to do, you can put down clean up the yard, and when it's done, check it off, you're done. But being a parent, you cannot check off a box ever.
Yeah.
you can't give up on kids. I mean, you're still a parent. Always. Always worry about them. And, but it's a good thing. So,
Do you feel the same way about your grandkids? Or is
Yeah.
having grandkids quite different from having kids?
it's
Well-
different.
It's different, but you still worry.
Oh, yeah, you do. And in some ways,
Or you're still happy when they go on missions, you're happy for them.
or get married in the temple or have a baby or, those milestones in their lives, we're happy for them. The difference is you really can't do anything with grandkids. You just have to love them and pray for them. Unless they come to you and ask for advice. But, when you've got your children at home, you can discipline them and say, what the heck are you doing? But grandparent, you just have to love them.
Yeah. Is that hard?
Yeah, sometimes it is.
Yeah. Sometimes you'd like to intervene and say, hey, this is the way you should be doing stuff. I mean, yeah, it's hard. Sometimes. So but it's good. It's good.
If your grandkids came to you for advice more often, what kind of things would you tell them?
Depends what they were asking. Probably the first thing I'd tell them is you stay close to the church. Do things to keep your testimony, because that's where you're going to get your strength the rest of your life. What would you tell them, dear?
I don't know.
If they came and asked for advice, what would you
We
tell
used to have the bishop, what's the Bishop Luthi, and actually it wasn't him, it was in conference. They said when you go and do your visiting teaching, there's 3 or 4 or 5 things you should always encourage the members to do, and they're just little things. It's say your prayers daily, read your scriptures. What else? Do service.
Mm-hmm. Attend the temple.
If they're
but if it's kids,
enough,
but if it's
kids can go to baptism.
Yeah.
So attend the temple. So they're just that sort of things you want to encourage them to do all the time. Good habits reap good benefits.
And poor habits, just do the opposite.
What are some good benefits you've seen from your good habits?
Well, some benefits are that if you're doing what you're supposed to, you don't spend your life in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's also a mental prison too.
Well,
the
Lord says joy and happiness is found in the gospel.
Yeah. It just makes, if you're doing what you're supposed to, it just makes life easier. And I don't know how to.
More comfortable.
More comfortable.
More harmonious.
And you have the stress, but not like people that aren't living like they're supposed to. But I think it's important to have faith all the time. Just, this is what's happening. This is the way the Lord wants it. And have a friend that worries about every single thing. And that's not worth it. And
Yeah.
so, and have home evening. Did you say that?
Oh.
That's one important thing, especially when you're, this new Come Follow Me program.
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing, and it has it at the bottom of the lesson. It has helps for even little kids, and I think it's important because it puts it on their level of learning about the Savior. I think more than ever now is the time to have home evenings with the kids. And we used to have, we made a point of on Sundays having dinner together and then going around and asking the kids what they learned in church. And one lady, I don't remember who said it somewhere. They said every day ask your kids, what was a good thing that happened today? And just keep things positive for your kids. Even though they're going through trials, you can still ask them, what was a good thing that happened today? So they don't dwell on the other.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we answered your question.
I loved it. What was the hardest thing for you raising your kids?
Go ahead, dear. The hardest thing. while we were raising the kids.
Hardest things. Well, sometimes hard things are to, depending on your lifestyle, but sometimes having enough finances to meet the expectations that you have.
Yeah.
I think that finances cause about as many divorces as anything else.
Yeah.
So you have to work together.
You really do.
How did you guys work together to keep finances from being a problem in your marriage?
I didn't. We just talked about.
If we didn't have money, we did without.
We just didn't do it.
We just did without. We didn't borrow money.
No.
The only thing we ever borrowed for was a house and a car.
And that has been our salvation.
Yep.
Because then if we didn't have the money, we just didn't do it.
We just did without.
Yeah. We were invited when our kids were little to go on a cruise. And they said, just
We
just
refused. Borrow the money.
go just borrow the money. And we said, no,
We're not going.
we're not going. And, they held that a grudge, kind of a grudge against us for years about that. But
Now some of them are still in debt.
yeah,
And we're not so much.
no,
Well,
I would say if we were to give them advice is don't borrow money, don't go in debt, except for what the church tells you to. Because you're just in bondage, paying it back.
yeah.
And then we just made sure we budgeted, and we had this much money for food and this much money for gas, and, But I truly think because we always paid our tithing, we were always able to get through it.
Your dad wasn't too sure.
I know. Well, we just had so many medical bills with the kids. It seemed like it. But we made it.
What kind of medical bills did you have?
Well,
Megan,
when she was born, at 6 months, she started having diarrhea, and she had it for, not at 6 months. That's when we finally took her to a different doctor. Anyway, they found out that her intestines weren't fully developed when she was born. And we had her to doctor after doctor, and finally was at Twin Falls. We finally found a doctor that put her on, and she was allergic to milk, and she was allergic to soy milk, and they put her on what's called Questrin, and that was like back then, it was like $30 a can.
but it worked.
But it worked. They put her on an adult medicine. They were, of course, at a lower dose of medicine along with that medicine, that milk. And she was the first baby they'd ever tried it on. But it worked. And then, of course, normal colds and coughs and all that. But then, eyes. But Mandy I could take her to a doctor on Monday, 2 weeks later, back to the doctor. Went like that for a year.
Wow.
Took her to Salt Lake. Her immune system, she was affected. We had to keep Mandy away from.
What she had was somewhat like AIDS.
Yeah, they sent us to Salt Lake. Back then, they didn't really know about AIDS, what it was. And they sent us to Salt Lake for her to be checked. And that's when they figured out it was just her immune system. But until she was in first grade or kindergarten, I don't remember, we couldn't take her places with people that had colds or coughs or anything.
I would take her to the nursery in church, and if there was a little kid with a snotty nose, out we went.
Yep. And that,
Look at that, a wild beast.
yeah, dog's in our yard, our dog. Anyway, that went on, and like I said, the first couple of years I had her to the doctor, go in, get medicine. 2 weeks later, go in, get more medicine. We wondered about taking out her tonsils, but the doctor in Salt Lake or up here, I don't remember, told us not to, because he said that's the garbage can of the body. And if we took her tonsils out, the infections would just go to her kidneys and different places. So she was, anyway. But, and the two of them, Megan and Mandy, they were so sick when they were little, but you know, they just lay on the couch and watch everybody while they were sick, sucking their pacifier and holding on the blanket. I mean, they were good. They handled it well.
That's good.
It was the parents that didn't. It was the parents that didn't.
Rebecca and Annika had Croup.
Oh boy, did they have Croup. So.
How often do they have Croup?
What?
How often do they have Croup?
Every winter.
Yep. Yeah.
Finally, the doctor said, dress them fairly warm, just take them outside and let them breathe cold air in the winter. That usually, after we found that out, that usually fixed them.
Yeah.
We didn't take them to the doctor near as much.
Ask your mom. She remembers sitting out on the hood of the car, looking up at the stars, waiting for her airways to clear.
To open back.
Yeah, to open back up.
Was it the cold air that did it, or was it the sunshine, or what do you think it was?
Cold air.
Cold air. They always got Croup at night. Seemed like the cold air just kind of shrunk, and opened them up. So we used to try steaming them in the bath, over the bathtub, but it didn't help much. The cold air. If your kids get Croup in the winter,
Did she come up on that?
she's just sitting there looking there. Bundle them up good, take them outside, show them the stars, and it helped. It's the best thing ever.
So my mom
now
was
you
talking.
have a home remedy.
Unless
Yeah,
it
I do
isn't.
know.
It doesn't always, but most of the time that helped.
Well, it did for them.
Yeah, it did for those two.
That's awesome. It's scary when your kids have Croup because they're like wheezing and the cough sounds horrible. And yeah.
You can hear them breathing clear across the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you have a home remedy, Lizzie.
I'm gonna use it. So, talking about being outside at night, my mom said that a couple times you would wake her up in the middle of the night and take her outside to look at the northern lights. Is that true?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We woke them all up.
Haven't even seen anything like that for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. But one year we were out looking, and it was all colors. And one time it was white, and it was just flowing like a veil. Anyway, yeah, we did.
It seemed like it was right here.
Yeah, it just seemed like it was right here over the power line. We did wake them up and that was usually around 11:30 at night. But we haven't seen them for a long time.
What do you think?
So,
Do you think it's light pollution or what?
no, it's just when the air, what causes
Sunspots.
it's sunspots, and you really see them up in the
In the
north.
fall, we used to see
Yeah.
them
And it's
11 o'clock at night.
yeah, it's rare that it comes down this far, but it did.
When we lived over at, when we lived in LaBelle, we saw them a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
One night when we came home, it was kind of funny. I couldn't figure out why everything had a pink haze. But when we got home, the northern lights were all pink, clear across the sky.
Have you ever seen them?
I haven't.
Lizzie?
No.
It's amazing to watch.
I'm gonna have another one.
Yeah. It's fun to watch.
It's not like a sunset where it's just still. It like moves,
No.
right?
No, they move across the sky back and forth.
Some of them move and some of them are just, the night it was pink, the whole sky was pink. They didn't move,
Yeah,
just everything turned pink.
that's true.
That's beautiful. How do you know when they're coming? Would you know in advance, or would you just happen to look outside and
Well,
notice?
When we were younger, we did not know in advance ever. But now the weather people think they can predict them.
They'll say, "Watching the sky tonight."
Yeah. And almost every time they said that in the last 20 years, it's been cloudy.
Yep, haven't seen him in a long time.
That's crazy. All right, let's do a crazy question. Okay, hold on. I have a list of crazy questions, potentially. Yeah, this one's crazy. Are you ready? It's from my mom. She says, my mom has a distinct memory she wants you to talk about.
Uh-oh.
She says that you, Grandma, had a friend who had hair all the way down to her knees. And she used to come over and sit in your wicker chair. I don't know
Would that
anything
have
about this.
Oh, was that Pam Lynch?
Maybe Pam had long hair.
She did have long hair. Goodness sakes, that's been so many years ago. How did your mom remember that?
I don't know.
Witty.
She wants you to talk about it, though.
Well, there really isn't much to talk about. We met him.
You'll have to ask your mother if she was blonde.
Yeah, if she was, I think it was Pam.
I think she did say that. I think she
We
did.
met him up. We met him up when we were going to school, up to Moscow. And they're not members, but we got along really well with them.
Haven't heard from them for years.
No, we went one night when we were up in Moscow, we went camping with them. And we made a bed in the car for your mom and Annika. And we slept in a tent and the kids slept in the car. And then they came and visited us. Yeah, that was Pam. That's about all there is to say. Bruce and Greg went hunting together. And Pam and I just, once in a while we'd go to town together, but what?
When we went up there and slept, that was with Williams.
No, it was Pam and Greg. Okay, 50 years of memories faded here.
When we picked all the huckleberries, that was Williams.
Was it Williams? Okay, never mind. Scratch that. I thought it was Pam and Greg.
She didn't have long hair.
No, but they were friends, and she always had it braided, and it was really long.
I went hunting with Greg once, but you guys didn't go.
No,
And the only elk I ever shot we shot on that trip.
Mm.
And then after Bruce graduated, we kind of went our separate ways. But they did come and visit us.
Yeah, he got a job out of the country, so
Mhm.
we didn't see him anymore.
But they visited us, was it in Rupert or here?
Rupert.
Rupert. So they came down and saw us. And then last we heard they were
We
in
had him,
Georgia.
well, we had him stay with us for a week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And her mother couldn't believe that we would just let him in the house and let him stay for a week.
Why?
Well,
Their experiences weren't that way, I guess.
no.
They didn't. She just told Pam, she said, I just can't believe they just let you stay like that.
They weren't, like I said, they weren't members, and they were from, where were they from? Back east?
Yeah, but people in this country, they're that way.
Yeah.
They don't,
Different culture.
yeah.
We let people come stay, and
My dad was that way. He wasn't a member of the church,
yeah.
but he was that way. And mother
So-
was too.
When I was growing up, I had one of my best friends live with us her senior year because her mom and dad moved and she didn't want to go. So she just lived with us.
Wow.
So
What was her name?
Lindsay. Can't remember her last name right now. Anyway, tell your mom we remembered. But
Well, I'll tell
I
her.
don't know.
She was
Yeah.
very interested to know for some
Was she?
reason.
Yeah.
Ask your mother where it was.
She says she
Oh, I
has a very
remember.
distinct memory of her sitting in a wicker chair. And
Yeah,
her
I
hair
remember.
was draped down and the sunlight was
Yeah.
shining.
She took her braid out, but most of the time she wore it in a real long braid.
Yeah. My mom said that she always thought her hair was so beautiful and she always wanted to touch it.
So, like Rapunzel, huh?
Apparently. Was it really down to her knees? Or is my mom being a little dramatic?
I'm thinking it was closer to her waist, but it was to her waist. So, well, her braid went to her waist, so it could have been close to her knees undone because her hair always shrinks up when you braid it.
It's really long.
So it was long.
So, Grandma, tell me about this friend Lindsay who lived with you. Did she share your room with you when she was living with you? Was she
yes,
in your
had
same
to.
grade?
Yeah. Yep. She was our good friend. When I was growing up, all of us, well, us 5 girls slept in the same bedroom. And Lindsay just joined us.
Did you guys share a bed or did you have 5 beds in there, 6 beds in there?
We had just those little twin beds. Well, there was a double bed that I think later Colleen was in another room. But there were 2 double beds, and then we had a couple of twin beds. I was in a twin bed. I think we put Lindsay in a twin bed, and then Vicky and Cherie shared a bed. Robin and Colleen, huh? With her boyfriend, yeah. Robin and Colleen. I mean, we were just crammed in, but that's what we did. And we had a foot length closet where we hung our dresses.
What do you mean
Isn't it
foot
nice?
length? Like a foot wide? Or like
Wide.
a foot deep?
No, it might have been 18 inches. About that big. Long. Wide. Not
And all
wide.
5 of you fit all of your
Not
dresses in there?
Yep. Well, we only had a couple. I mean, we didn't have that many.
wide.
Wide. Okay. We didn't have that many.
So did you wear dresses every day, or did you guys wear pants and shirts or skirts, or
We had to wear dresses
you didn't
every
like
day.
it?
Well, no, that was just what you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, going to school.
Oh,
Yeah, that was just the way it was. Girls wore dresses, and
yep.
that was
That was at old Madison High.
that's just the way it was when we were growing up.
When did you start wearing pants and shirts?
After we graduated, we'd wear them at home or when we, go play with our friends. But to go to school, we had to wear skirts or dresses. And it was that way at college too. But I think that changed shortly after I graduated.
Yep, girls at college wore dresses.
Yep. Girls at college wore dresses too.
So it was like you'd be getting dressed up to go to school.
Yeah. Yep, basically.
Did you dress even fancier for church, or was it all the same? Dress up for church, dress up for school?
No, we had a church dress. Then we had our school dresses.
Did you share dresses with your sisters?
No.
Did they share with each other? Some of them were closer in age, right?
I don't know if they did or not. I don't think so. Because they were just, a year apart in school.
But then when your girls were going to school, they didn't wear dresses to school every day, right?
No.
Not so much. They could if they wanted.
Yeah, they could,
Yeah.
but no, it wasn't
And
required.
sometimes they did.
Yeah. But not. They wore pants to school.
Did you make their clothes? Did you make your own clothes?
Yeah, mainly. Didn't we? Yeah.
For all of the kids?
Not the boys, not Clifton. I made the girls' dresses.
Clifton had to wear hand-me-down dresses from Annika and Rebecca. Not really.
No. I made their clothes. I made their dresses and their nightgowns and stuff. But like I said, they could wear Levi's to school, so so I didn't do Levi's. So, oh.
What's he whispering about?
Telling me to look at this little tiny bird that's flying in the tree. Yeah. Just a little tiny one.
It sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
Bugs and scales.
Our meeting's almost over. You want another question, or you want to call it?
You want one more question?
One more.
One more.
Okay, it's another weird one from my mom.
Okay.
Says, my mom has a distinct memory she wants you to talk about. She says that one night while you were living in Rupert, you woke her up in the middle of the night and took her outside. Apparently, all of the neighbors were in the street, and there was a fire truck flashing its lights and spraying water in between the buildings. They said they were just testing the fire hydrants.
Oh, I don't remember that one. I don't remember that one.
Tell her she'll have to talk to Annika about that memory.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. Doing that.
I think she said, I don't even know if it's real or not. So maybe
Yeah,
it's not real.
Might have been a dream. No.
I'll tell you one thing that was real. One night we had a chimney fire.
That's true, down to Rupert. And that might be what she's thinking about.
there weren't any.
But there wasn't a fire truck,
No.
so
What happened?
what?
What happened?
Tell her how that happens. A chimney fire.
Chimney fire happens because you let creosote build up in the chimney and then it catches on fire.
When you let what build up in the chimney?
Creosote. Kreo. Is it O or A? K-R.
I don't know. ASOT or something. I don't know.
Might be A-S-O-T-E.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's just little stuff that burns and it builds up in the chimneys if you don't
The creek spilling would be on one of those little
keep it
tubs right up there.
cleaned out.
So what happened to you?
It'd be on one of those.
We just put the fire out in the fireplace.
It burned out. And when it burns out, if it doesn't catch your house on fire, and if it doesn't burn the chimney all out on the inside, it cleans it out very well.
S-O-T.
Okay, it's Creosote.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
That's a fancy chimney word. I probably have that in my chimney. When we got our inspection, the inspector said, "Don't start a fire in this chimney until you get a chimney sweep."
Well, that's
But
probably.
we didn't get one.
You didn't get one?
No, I don't know how to get a chimney sweep. How do you do that?
You look for chimney sweeps
Yeah, you can.
online.
You can Google them.
Google
Man.
chimney.
Now
Yeah,
you're making it sound so easy. I'm gonna Google it right now, but
Your house is
But-
tall.
You can go to a farm store or a hardware store and buy the parts and then tell the man you want to make it spin with your hand drill.
They have brushes.
Yeah, it's got brushes. And then in the old days, they just climb up on the chimney and go up and down, up and down, up and down. But now
It's a wire brush, Lizzie.
But now, the they're wire brushes and they're round, kind of like that. And they're round, but now you can put the part that the brush goes on, the stem in the middle, is flexible, and you can hook your electric drill on the end so it'll spin. That worked a lot better. So you get it spinning and then you run it up and down in the chimney and it cleans it right up.
You hook it to a chain or something.
No, that's altogether different.
Oh, well, how do you reach in your chimney with your drill all the way?
You don't ever put your drill in the chimney.
Oh, okay.
You have a big long stem,
Oh,
8-10 feet long,
yeah.
as long as the chimney is.
Oh,
And then that stem is flexible, so
Oh.
it'll go up like that and down the chimney
I got it.
and still spin with your drill on it.
To hold your drill, you've got the 8 to 10 feet stem hooked
Yeah.
onto the brush.
Another thing was that a lady from St. Anthony, she was working in Cal Ranch. She said, take a couple of horseshoes, wire them to the end of a chain, and then stand up above your chimney and swing the chain around in the chimney and up and down, and that would take the creosote out.
that sounds kind of violent.
Yep.
Now you want to get it out.
Well, your chimney's brick, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what you do.
Or the wire brush
Yeah, or the brush.
to clean it out. Or hire a chimney sweep.
Yep. Or hire a chimney sweep. Or find a friend that knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Call a friend.
Once you learn, it's not too hard to work, and the whole thing's fairly simple. It's just knowing what to do.
Yeah. I think some of my chimney might be broken too, but I don't know enough about chimneys to know how it's supposed to be.
No, down
Is it just
inside-
a hole? It's not just like a hole all the way up. There's like
Yep.
stuff in there, right?
No.
Your house is probably old enough that it is just brick.
No.
No, it should have to have a liner.
Most of the old chimneys, they had a chimney block, cinder block, and it was about 18 inches across, and then there was a liner that went in it. So you'd put down a couple of these big blocks and then a liner, and then a couple of blocks and then a liner until you got to the top. And you would notice that the chimney was this size is square until out above the roof, and then it tapered in. Well, because they stuck one liner up above the last chimney block, then they filled the space between the liner and the block with cement or plaster to keep stuff from getting down between, and that's what the chimney looked like.
So you haven't burned your fireplace.
No.
You might want to get a chimney sweep for this first time, and then there's nothing better than a.
No, I hired one, and he charges $80 for the trip
Yeah.
out here and back, and then he looked at it and he cleaned it, but he said, I can't okay it because your chimney's illegal.
Why?
Because we had the furnace running into it too.
We
The
had
vent for the
yeah,
furnace.
we had our fire stove and the furnace both running in the chimney. And so now we have two chimneys side by side in our room here. Stove in one, furnace in the other.
So now we're legal.
We hope. And we don't care.
That's true.
No, we don't.
So you have two chimneys now, right next to each other, in your bedroom.
No.
Right here in the living room.
Show me.
Well,
true.
the one chimney is half in the kitchen, half in the living room. It's got a hole in each side. And it used to have the wood cook stove in the kitchen side and a wood burning stove in the living room side.
Oh. So it's behind your oven. Are you? Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
So it used to have a wood burning stove in the kitchen and a fireplace, was it still the stove you used in the living room?
Still a stove. It was a wood burning stove.
Okay.
And I don't know what they had. When I was a kid, we had a heater, a wood heater. That's what they called it. It was a fire burning stove, kind of in the shape of a little barrel, with a porcelain frame around it. And I got one out in the pump house that I want to put where I tie my flies. And they were about, actually those heaters were about the same as that stove right there.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
And then Grandpa Koon had a guy come and turned his into an oil burner and put an oil barrel out by the house.
That's cool.
Yep.
So they work really well. They keep you really warm.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that you have to cut down the wood and constantly fuel it, or what? Like, why do people transition away from them?
For wood, you did.
Yeah.
For oil, he could just,
Put in a line.
it'd just, they had a little teeny motor on it, and it would run a fan and pump the oil out of the barrel into the heater.
I was going to look and see if we have doctor's appointments on Monday.
And tell your mother we don't remember fire trucks and light.
I'll tell her. And then I'll make her, she'll probably will ask Annika. Because she'll start to wonder if she's crazy.
We remember seeing some, but not at our house.
How close?
Probably out in the street, but I don't.
Not at our house.
But not at our house, no.
You didn't all go outside?
We might have, but I don't.
If the neighbors had a fire, we might.
Yeah.
But I don't remember that happening either.
Yeah. It seems like it would have been memorable.
Rebecca was too little when we all ran outside for one of our kids.
What happened?
She got out of her bathtub
Yeah.
and went out and was running up and down the middle of the street.
My mom was?
Annika.
I was still bathing Rebecca. We lived in we were renting that Burley house, and it was Annika out in the street. She escaped the bathtub. I didn't know that she went outside. And she was stark naked running up and down the street in front of the house until a man stopped and asked us if that was our daughter.
We said, no, she's having a bath. He said, you better check.
So we checked, and it was just Rebecca in there. Annika was outside.
Oh my gosh.
She was our very first flasher.
Yes.
Did you have more after that?
No.
No, she was our one and only. So. So anyway, it was funny.
That's funny.
Nowadays she'd have probably been stolen.
Yeah. I hope not.
And if it would have been nowadays, though, we'd have had our phones out there taking pictures of her.
She would have been really glad to see those years later.
Yeah.
We'd have played them at her wedding reception.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Do you have doctor's appointments on Monday?
Oh, I forgot to look. I was just listening to YouTube. No, not Monday. Yeah, just Tuesday. So
Can we do Monday then? 12 o'clock?
I'll write it on the calendar. Unless something comes up, I'll let you know.
All right.
How's
Sorry,
that?
I was slow to confirm this Monday.
That's all right. No problem.
It's a whirlwind now that Kate's gone.
I know. Yeah. No, we're good.
Thank you so much for meeting with me. I love talking to you guys. It's fun.
We like talking to you too. So
Thank you. I hope you mean it.
I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it.
Good. I hope if you really didn't like it, you would just say that you don't want to meet again.
I'd say, sorry, Charlie.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
And whenever you get sick of talking to me, I'm expecting you to say sorry, Charlie.
All right. I will. Okay.
All right.
You
Love
have a
you
good
guys.
week. Love
You too.
Talk to you
Bye.
Monday.
See you. Bye.